Can you hear us? Can you... Over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We are sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Legal Vices, and whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, however good it feels, however many times you've done it, and however many times you plan on doing it again, I'm glad you're here with me. Thank you so much, everybody. We've got a Nicholas Starov raid underway here. Thank you so much, Nicholas. Just as soon as we start, I get a message. Cool. All right. All right, how are we doing, everybody? Today is Maritime Monday. We're doing Maritime Monday because there's no trial today in the trial we're following, which is the trial of YNW Melly. It's a holiday in the U.S., so courts are taking a break, which means we have to do a Maritime Monday thing. And if you don't know what Maritime Monday is, if this is your first deal here, what we do is we look at things around the maritime world, shipping, admiralty, maritime, vessel-related issues, things like that, because that's primarily what I do. Probably about 70% of my work is maritime law related. So I just like to talk about something I know what's going on in depth for a little while, just to make myself feel comfortable. We do big disasters, we do small scale things, we do news. Recently, I'm kind of stepping back from the huge scale disasters because we're running out of really big maritime disasters, and I kind of want to pace myself. So we'll be talking about little sort of smaller scale things, shorter subjects than we've been dealing. So the Maritime Monday is probably going to be a little shorter than you've been accustomed to for the next little while. We'll still be having guests on. I've got 3 separate guests that I'm trying to work out schedules for. This is going to be really, really fun, really, really cool stuff. But today there's a couple. Oh, we've got a Lincoln Kane raid too. Hey, everybody from Lincoln Kane, welcome to the Legal Vices Maritime Monday. I hope you'll find this interesting. I hope you'll come back. I hope you subscribe to the channel. But before we get going, the very first thing we have to do is today's cocktail. We've been doing some Rickies, some vodka Rickies, some gin Rickies. We did a lime Ricky, but I want to redo that one because lime Rickies are so darn good. They're a great summer vacation. A great summer cocktail, whether you're at home or on vacation. So today's cocktail will be the traditional lime Ricky. What do you need for a lime Ricky? If you like them sweet, you can put an ounce or two of, not an ounce or two, a teaspoon or 2 of simple syrup in the bottom of the glass. I don't like mine too sweet, so I usually don't add syrup. But to that, you're going to want to add about 1.5 ounces. The juice of 1 fresh squeezed lime. Add that in. Then what you want to do is you want to add 2 ounces of bourbon. And we're using a little Wild Turkey today, so add the Wild Turkey. 2 ounces of a good old Wild Turkey 8, which is a great cocktail bourbon in these recipes. And then once you've done that, you just want to top it off with soda water, not tonic water, soda water. It totally is a different thing if you're not accustomed to it. So add just enough to top it off. Some sparkling soda water. And then just give it a gentle little mix. Because if you mix it too hard, it'll destroy the carbonation. And there you go. Top it off with a couple of frozen lime wedges. Boom, done. This is an amazingly fresh summer cocktail, the traditional bourbon-based lime Ricky. Great. All right, with today's cocktail out of the way, we need to do our other housekeeping stuff, which, of course, is make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. That's what we're here to. We're pushing our way towards 37,000 and then on to 40,000. We are currently somewhere near 37,000. What do we got going here? Let me check. It's been a while since I've checked. We're at 36,851. So another 149 people, and we're up to 37,000. And then it's just a little jump to 40 after that. Then we'll be on our way to 50. So cool. All right. once you've hit that like and subscribe button, if you've already subscribed, please just double check to make sure you're subscribed. And we've had a raid from Lincoln Kane, and we've had a raid from Nicholas Starov. If you are not subscribed to those fine, outstanding gentlemen, please go over there and give them a look, give them a subscribe as well, and give them a shout out. Say howdy, or go over to Nicholas Starov, say hi from Legal Vices, and Lincoln Kane, give him a big old howdy. And take our like and subscribe poll. Every day we do a little like and subscribe poll. It's dumb, it's lame every day, but it's just a little fun little reminder to hit the like and subscribe button. Today's like and subscribe poll is like, subscribe, and take the poll. Our choices are okay. Now what? Done. So I guess this option. And completed. I'm the captain now. And I captain. This is probably the lamest poll I've ever done, but whatever. Here we are. Today we do have just two issues I want to talk about, two ongoing issues. They're brand new incidents that have happened. One of them is bad, but has a happy ending. The other is just bad. I mean, really bad. And when I say bad, I mean unpleasantly, really, really bad. So our first case that we're going to look at today is from the Philippines. The Esperanza Star is the name of this vessel. Let's show the video of the Esperanza Star. Just the other day. And the fire continued to burn for quite a while. As we can see, even into the evening. I mean, once your ship catches on fire, that's just about as big an emergency as you can possibly have. It's literally the last thing you want to have happen. So the ship caught on fire and continued to burn throughout the day. And this video runs just about a minute. Then we'll get into the details of these. Okay, that is the two videos. We don't need you. Go away, Scratch Media. Not you. So, I mean, what would be going through your mind if you're on a ship in the ocean and suddenly your ship catches on fire? There's nothing you can do about it, really. You're just a passenger. You didn't sign up for that, but it happens. So where do you go? What do you do? Do you know where the lifeboats are? Do you know what to do in that situation? Even, I mean, we talked about the Philippine case, the Donna Paz. The Donna Paz case was, I mean, it was an absolute horrifying story where just before Christmas 1987, two ships collided, and that resulted in one of the greatest maritime disasters in human history. The death toll was absolutely staggering. 4,000. And of course, they don't know how many people were on the ship, but these two ships collided, and the death toll from the Donna Paz collision was estimated to be at 4,386 people. Only 26 people were rescued. 24 from the Donna Paz and 2 crew members from the other ship's 13 crew members. So that that was a case we just talked about maybe 2 months ago. If you want to go back to the Maritime Monday playlist, it's listed there. That is a truly horrific story. This has a little better ending. This case here. This was on June 18th is when this happened. Let's take a look at the news dealing with this. This is one of the news stories about it here. And apologies to all of the Filipino friends here in the audience. I'm going to mangle all of the names. Passenger cargo vessel catches fire off Pangulo, Bohol. This was on June 18th. Passenger cargo carrying around 120 passengers and crew members caught fire in the vicinity of the waters off Pangulo, Bohol. Oh, come on, go away, video. I hate when they do that. No, go away. We don't want you there. Where's the X button? That's not the X button. All right. Nope. Great. I guess we're just stuck with that, even though we don't want it. Maybe if we, yep. All right, whatever. We'll just do this. Sorry about the unwanted video there in the bottom corner. So personnel of the BRP, Malamawi, and the Coast Guard substation conducted the operations in the Maritime incident. The BRP Cape San Agustin of the PCG also helped put out the fire. PCG District Central Visayas said fire out was declared at around 10 a.m. So what happened? How did we get there? So they're carrying 120 passengers. The PCG said it carried out firefighting and rescue operations for the MV. That means motor vessel Esperanza Star. The distress vessel, skippered by Captain Desiderio Labiste Jr., departed from port for the port of this other port. I don't even want to mispronounce things, so I'll just keep my mouth shut. But at 3:35 a.m., so at 3:35 a.m., they received a distress call from the Esperanza Star saying that there was a fire. And they put it out, what did they say, at 10? They declared fire out. So this fire raged for quite a bit. First responders were fishing boats, about 4 to 5 fishing vessels, and 1 shipping vessel. And then they put the fire out. Meanwhile, the fire burned for about 7 hours. 120 people are surrounded by this burning fire. They're trying to get rescued for about 7 hours. Meanwhile, the BRP Cape San Agustin, and BRP Malamawi remained at the site on Sunday as of 12 noon to monitor the burned vessel. The PCG, the Philippine Coast Guard, said it would conduct an investigation into the incident. A crew member told Damaliero that the fire started outside the engine room. I talked to one of the crew. It started outside the engine room in the hallway. I love the Philippine stories that just mix Tagalog in with English and just leave me out. But that's the short version. We got through that with a minimal amount of struggle. Okay, with a moderate amount of struggle. But let's go to CNN for the offsite story. This is a close-up of the vessel. Smoke billows from the Philippine ferry MV Esperanza Star after it caught fire off the coast of Bohol province on Sunday, June 18th. A ship carrying 120 people caught fire off the Philippine island of Bohol, the country's Coast Guard said Sunday. Videos shared by the Philippine Coast Guard showed flames rising from the rear of the MV Esperanza Star, with billows of black smoke. The Coast Guard told CNN all 120 passengers and crew were removed safely from the ship. It said the fire had been extinguished and no injuries were suffered. So that's the happy story. That's the happy part of the story. There were no deaths, apparently no injuries. It had the potential of being a disaster. 120 people on board, the fire raging. They're getting people there. So thankfully, luckily, they were all rescued. The ship was traveling between the Philippine islands of Siquijor and Bohol when the fire broke out, according to the Coast Guard. In a statement on Facebook, the Coast Guard said its rescue ships would remain in the waters of Bohol to monitor the situation. That's the happy story. A ship caught fire. That's never a good thing, but it could have been much, much worse. And let's see, we've got a couple of things here. Whilst I was doing this, we've got to look at a few, and by few I mean one. Toe Jam in the house. Toe Jam over from Lincoln Kane, bringing us our super chat. Oh, I forgot StreamYard took away our automatic starring thing, which annoys me. All right, there we are. There's Toe Jams. Toe Jam with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Peter Frampton. That is a very random super chat, but yes, Peter Frampton rocks. And someday, I know my regular viewers have heard me tell my story of the greatest fight I ever saw my parents in, and it centered around Frampton Comes Alive album. Well, we'll have to tell that story someday. Well, someone up there said Maritime Monday should feature an appetizer. That was our appetizer. Was Gilligan smoking a joint outside the engine room? Well, it's interesting the fire started outside the engine room and not in the engine room. If it started in the engine room, that would make a little bit more sense. But what does outside the engine room mean? Does it mean in the hallway? Does it mean in the electrical system? Again, these things can take months and months and months to find the source, the cause of the fire. But mercifully, no one died in this incident. Take a great album, the Peter Frampton album. Yes, I like the talk box guitar. Nothing says 70s like the guitar talk box thing. All right, now we've devolved into a Peter Frampton story here. All right. Now, unfortunately, for the remainder of our show today, we're going to be talking about a much more serious incident that took place off the coast of Greece over the weekend. I mean, well, just before the weekend, actually. Again, it's not a happy, feel good story, but yeah, that's what we do here on Maritime Monday. We talk about the good, but the bad, the ugly, the funny, and the not so funny. Greece boat disaster. Capsized boat had 100 children in the hold, the BBC is told. We're already off to a bad start. This is the brothers' tearful reunion after Greece boat. So, survivors from a fishing boat that sank off of southern Greece in one of Europe's worst migrant disasters say up to 100 children may have been on board. At least 70 people have already been confirmed dead in the disaster. This article is from 3 days ago, so we're going to be updating those numbers by the end of this story. So, just spoiler alert, it's way above 778 now, or whatever it was. It's way above that now. So, but many more could still be missing at sea, with reports suggesting that up to 750 people were on board the vessel. 9 people, including several Egyptians, have been arrested on suspicion of people trafficking. And as those of you that are regulars to Maritime Monday know, overcrowding of ships, running illegal ships, illegal voyages with illegal cargoes, money making. Do you think the human traffickers, the people traffickers, do you think they really care about the safety of the vessels? And we're going to get into some shocking statistics about migrant deaths on the seas in that area. But, see, that's a problem. But, all you can do is try to catch them, try to head them off, and hope that a disaster like this doesn't happen. But unfortunately, it did in this case. The greed, the illegal human trafficking, the illegal migration. The Coast Guard has been criticized for not intervening earlier, but authorities say their offers of aid were refused. Why do you think their offers of aid were refused? Could it be because they had hundreds of illegal migrants on board the vessel and they didn't want the Coast Guard to come anywhere near them? Again, the greed of people doing allegedly illegal stuff leads to huge loss of life. Rescuers are still searching the area where the boat capsized almost 50 nautical miles off the southwest coast, as hopes of finding more survivors dwindle. The boat had departed empty from Egypt and stopped at the Libyan port of Tobruk, where it picked up migrants destined for Italy, Greek media reports. Images showed the decks packed with people, but accounts of a large number of women and children in the hold of the ship have come from medics who treated the mostly male survivors. So much for women and children first, huh? Just stick the women and children down in the hold. A senior doctor at Kalamata General Hospital told the BBC as many as 100 children were on the vessel. The survivors told us there were children in the bottom of the ship, children and women, said the doctor, head of cardiology. He said 2 patients had given him estimated figures. One told me about 100, the other about 50, so I don't know the truth, but it is many, he added. Dr. Makara said he believed as many as 600 people could have died in this disaster. The exact number of all the people who were on the boat was 750. This is the exact number that everyone told me about this. So what do you think the odds there were actually more than 750 people on board that ship? If you're human trafficking, you're probably not reporting your numbers accurately. Now, I said we were going to get into some interesting statistics. Look at these statistics. Death in the central Mediterranean. Reported fatalities and disappearances on the route between North Africa and Italy and Malta. Look, this is a yearly number of ships that go down or disappear. Fatalities and disappearances on this route between Northern Africa and Italy and Malta. In 2015, over 3,000 people. In 2016, nearly 4,500 people went missing or deceased. Nearly 3,000 the following year. Then we've got the low numbers. What's that, about 1,100, 1,200 for 2 years, then 1,000, then about 1,500, 1,600. And there's already been 1,000 fatalities or disappearances on that route this year. So if you look at this 1, 2, 3, let's take 8 years, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You're almost 18 or 19,000 people have died or disappeared on that route in the past 8 years. I mean, that's a staggering number. Families of some Egyptian children who were missing had sent him photographs of their young relatives, he said, in hopes he would recognize them after treating them. It was a tragedy, he said. Everyone in Europe must not accept this situation. We have to do something. Everyone has to do something so it doesn't happen again. A reporter from Greece's Ant1 channel asked a survivor if there were 100 children on board, to which the survivor replied, yes. The BBC has not been able to independently verify the figure, but it was corroborated by the charity Save the Children, citing testimonies from survivors. Greek government spokesman Ilias Tsiakantaris, sorry, Greeks in the audience, you'll just have to forgive my dumb American pronunciation, said it was not known how many people were in the hold, but we know that several smugglers lock people up to maintain control. And it seems like they locked up the women and children. Well, here's a view of the ship. Looks a little slightly overcrowded to me. What do you guys think? That right there is an accident waiting to happen. Just look at that and let it sink in a little bit. Plus, add another several hundred people probably here on the mid deck, and then the 100 or so women and children in the hold. It's a bad situation. Families of some of the missing have arrived in Kalamata in search of their loved ones. My relatives were on the boat, said Aftab, who had traveled from the UK, and said at least 4 of his relatives from Pakistan were unaccounted for. We've had confirmation. We found one of the relatives in the rescue center, but the others we haven't got a hold of yet, he told BBC. A Syrian man from the Netherlands broke down as he revealed his wife and brother-in-law were missing. The authorities are looking for their bodies in the sea. They're looking in hospitals. They're looking among dead bodies and among survivors, he said. There's his wife and his brother-in-law. That's him and his wife, and also his brother-in-law is missing. Activist Nawal Sufi said was the first to raise the alarm after being contacted by the boat on Tuesday morning. Keep that in mind. They were contacted by people on the boat on Tuesday morning. Why is that a big deal? Well, let's look a little closer at it. The Coast Guard said initial contact was made with the fishing boat at 1400 local time on Tuesday, and no request for help had been made. Well, let's look at the timeline and find out why that's problematic. 8 a.m. Greek Coast Guard says they're informed about a migrant boat by Italian authorities. 11. Coast Guard says it makes contact with the boat. So the Coast Guard makes contact 3 hours after they receive notice that there's a migrant boat in the area. It does not request help. 12:17 to 15:34, multiple distress calls from boat, according to Alarm Phone Charity. 1500 hours, the commercial vessel supplies food and water. So far, everything's good. They don't want help. That's sort of what they do when they see the overcrowded ships and whatnot. They'll offer help. So there we go. They didn't want it, but they did bring them some food and water. At 1940 to 2240, Greek Coast Guard vessel sailed near the migrant boat, observing at a distance, not finding any problem in its navigation. 2240, reports of engine failure. Migrant boat overturns and sinks. Vessels help in rescue efforts. So from first contact on the morning, it's been, 12 hours, 13 hours? Finally, in the middle of the night, the boat overturns and sinks. And at 4 a.m., 5 hours after the boat overturns and sinks, help shows up. And here, if we look at this, you can see the Lucky Sailor tanker. That's the red one. It comes. It supplies the food and the water. I guess this is where the location of the boat was, and then it sails off. And then the Greek ship Faithful come and they supply water. So they're being helped out by other ships, but none of the ships want their help. The ship in question doesn't want the help from the other ships to get safely into port. It said the Greek shipping ministry had made repeated contact with the boat and was told it simply wanted to sail on to Italy. 2 commercial ships provided water during the evening. In a Facebook post, Ms. Sufi said the situation became complicated when a ship approached the vessel and tied ropes to it while throwing bottles of water on board. She said some of the people on board had felt in extreme danger due to fears the rope could cause the boat to flip, and that fights on board over water could result in capsizing. The boat then moved away. The Coast Guard said that in the early hours of Wednesday, the boat's engine broke down and the people on board started to move around, causing it to capsize. All of the 104 people rescued were male. Alarm Phone, an emergency helpline for migrants in trouble at sea, complained that the Coast Guard had been aware of the ship being in distress for hours before any help was sent, adding that authorities had been informed by different sources that the boat was in trouble. However, Coast Guard spokesman Nikos Alexiou said they tried to convince the vessel to get help and stayed by if they needed us to save people. Former Greek Prime Minister Alexis visited Kalamata on Thursday and spoke to survivors about what they thought had gone wrong. The Greek Coast Guard asked the vessel to follow them, but they couldn't, a translator explained. The Coast Guard then threw a rope, but because they didn't know how to pull the rope, the vessel started dangling right and left. So I guess it was rocking right and left. The Coast Guard boat was going too fast, but the vessel was already dangling to the left, and that's how it sank. So that's interesting. They're blaming the Coast Guard for the sinking. That the Coast Guard was towing the vessel, and that caused it to sink. Greece is observing 3 days of mourning. Campaigning has been suspended ahead of the parliamentary election on 25 June, and a TV debate due to happen on Thursday has been canceled. Several marches in protest of the tragedy took place on Thursday evening in the capital Athens, the second city Thessaloniki, and elsewhere. Greece is one of the main routes into European Union for refugees and migrants from the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. Last month, the Greek government came under international criticism over a video reportedly showing a forceful expulsion of migrants who were set adrift at sea. That's one of the initial reports that came from this. So, I mean, that's the initial report, is that the Coast Guard may have caused the Greek Coast Guard may have caused the vessel to overturn as it was trying to tow the vessel somewhere. But, unfortunately, it doesn't get any better. And while we're taking this little break here between stories of this particular tragedy, we've currently got 411 people here and 265 likes. Please reach down there and hit that like button. I deeply appreciate it. You guys rock. Unfortunately, this story doesn't rock, because it just gets worse. We get it more as things have progressed. We get a little better look at some of the problems that were going on there. And again, the warning that the death toll could reach into the hundreds. Again, the number that they had early on was 78. Clearly, it's higher than that. So let's bring up the next story. Is one of the second batch of stories to come out. Huge search and rescue efforts seek survivors of migrant boats sinking off Greece's. Dozens of bodies are recovered. Estimates of the number on board range from 400 to 750, making it one of Europe's deadliest shipping disasters. This is some video here. Recovering people. It's a terrible situation. We don't need to watch too much of that, because it's just repeated over and over and over again. They bring body bag after body bag after body bag for 2 minutes and 44 seconds of this video. With its human cargo of migrants filling every available space, the battered blue trawler was about halfway from Libya to Italy when its engine cut out in the night. The vessel wobbled sharply, flooded and capsized. Less than 15 minutes later, it sank into one of the Mediterranean's deepest points off the coast of Greece. Hundreds of people were thought to have been on board when the boat went down Wednesday, although authorities have no precise figure. Rescuers saved 104 passengers, including Egyptians, Syrians, Pakistanis, Afghans, and Palestinians, and recovered 79 bodies. So we've increased one body since the story broke. And the search went on Thursday for more, with aircraft dropping flares to help search teams. It's one of the biggest such operations ever in the Mediterranean. Greek Coast Guard spokesman Nikos Alexiou told ERT TV, "We won't stop looking." And that's just sad. The survivors, they're asleep. Probably, I can't imagine just being exhausted from that experience, plus wondering if your relatives are dead, if your loved ones are dead, what the situation is, hungry, tired, wet, cold, family members missing. The sinking could be one of the worst ever recorded on the feared central Mediterranean migration route, which is the world's deadliest. We saw the statistics a minute ago. Ioannis, deputy mayor of the southern port city of Kalamata, said where survivors were taken, said this information indicated that there were more than 500 people on board. The 25 to 30 meter, 800 to 100 foot boat is believed to have left the Tobruk area in Libya, which has plunged into chaos following the 2011 uprising that toppled and killed the longtime autocrat Muammar Gaddafi. The instability allowed migrant smugglers to make Libya one of the main departure points for people seeking a better life in Europe. Migration experts linked the sinking with the European Union's failure to provide safe immigration alternatives for people fleeing conflict or hardship in the Middle East and Africa. We're witnessing one of the biggest tragedies in the Mediterranean, and the numbers announced by the authorities are devastating," said the head of the Greek section of IOM, the UN Migration Agency. "The situation reinforces the urgency for concrete, comprehensive action from states to save lives at sea and reduce perilous journeys by expanding safe and regular pathways to migration." More body bags. God, look at these numbers. The IOM has recorded more than 21,000 deaths and disappearances in the central Mediterranean since 2014. 9 years, 21,000 dead or missing. EU Home Affairs Commissioner said the bloc has a collective moral duty to dismantle migrant smuggling networks. "The best way to ensure safety of migrants is to prevent these catastrophic journeys and invest in legal pathways," she wrote on Twitter. Greece's Coast Guard said it was notified by Italian authorities of the trawler's presence in international waters. It said in a statement that efforts by its own ship and merchant vessels to assist the boat were repeatedly rebuffed, with people on board insisting they wanted to continue to Italy. They categorically refused any help. An aerial photograph of the vessel released by the Coast Guard showed scores of people covering practically every inch of deck. Greek media reports, which said the ship had been at sea for at least 2 days, voiced fears that women and children may have been trapped in the hold. "The outer deck was full of people, and we presume that the interior would also have been full. It looks as if there was a shift among the people who were crammed on board, and it capsized. The spot is close to the deepest part of the Mediterranean Sea, and depths of up to 17,000 feet, 5,200 meters, could hamper any effort to locate a sunken vessel." Yeah, if the ship sank in 5,200 meters of water, they ain't finding it. I mean, unless they have like some of these super ultra deep, ROV vehicles that go down there. But yeah, if it sank in that deep of water, it's gone. Greece's caretaker prime minister declared 3 days of national mourning. 30 survivors ranging from 16 to 49 were hospitalized with hypothermia or fever. At the port of Kalamata, around 70 exhausted survivors bedded down in sleeping bags and blankets provided by rescuers in a large warehouse, while paramedics set up tents outside for anyone who needed first aid. Rescue volunteer said that nearly all survivors were men. Survivor being taken away. "They were very worn out. How could they not be?" he said. Rescuers said many of the people pulled from the water couldn't swim and were clutching debris. The Coast Guard said no one had life jackets. Smugglers often use unseaworthy boats crammed with as many migrants as possible, sometimes inside locked holds. For journeys that can take days, they head for Italy, which is directly across the Mediterranean from Libya and Tunisia, and much closer than Greece to the Western European countries that most migrants hope to eventually reach. In February, at least 94 people died when a wooden boat from Turkey sank off Cutro in southern Italy, in the worst Mediterranean sinking so far this year. Well, until this one. The Italian Coast Guard first alerted Greek authorities and the EU Border Protection Agency, Frontex, about an approaching vessel on Tuesday. The IOM said initial reports suggested up to 400 people were on board. A network of activists said it received a distress call from a boat in the same area whose passenger said it carried 750 people. After the first alert, Frontex aircraft and 2 merchant ships spotted the boat heading north, according to the Greek Coast Guard, and more aircraft and ships were sent to the area. But repeated calls to the vessel offering help were declined, the Coast Guard said. Again, this is because it's crammed full of illegal migrants. And, if you've got women and children locked in the hold and you've got all these other illegal people that are illegally on the vessel, they're going to be inclined to refuse help so as to avoid any legal problems. In the evening, the Coast Guard patrol boat reached the vessel, but they refused any assistance and said they wanted to continue to Italy. The Coast Guard boat accompanied the migrant vessel and later headed the rescue operation. An official with the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, implied that the migrants' rejection of help should not have been taken at face value. The boat was unseaworthy, and no matter what some people on board may have said, the notion of distress cannot be discussed. He tweeted, "A robust and predictable search and rescue regime led by states in need is needed in the central Mediterranean if we want to avoid such tragedies to repeat. The Mediterranean's deadliest shipwrecks in living memory occurred on April 18th, 2015, when an overcrowded fishing boat collided off Libya with a freighter trying to come to its rescue." Oh, that would suck. Ships coming to your rescue, you smash it, and it ends up being the deadliest shipwreck in living memory in the Mediterranean. Collided off Libya with a freighter trying to come to its rescue. Only 28 people survived. Forensics experts concluded there were originally 1,100 people on board. Yeah. And the story continues down here, but we want to look at the timeline a little bit. But let's take a little break here. I mean, this is some seriously rough news. We've looked at events that have happened historically, even if it's 10, 15 years ago. This is a story that's happening right now. This is a story that's ongoing as we speak. Search and rescue operations are continuing while I'm sitting here talking to you. So this is a very much a live and living incident that we're looking at here. Jessica P., thank you so much for the $13.99. We'll call it $14 super chat. Canada. Thank you for the Canada dollars. As usual, going to have to catch this on Replay Crew, but showing the love because Maritime Mondays are my favorite vice. Keep the Maritime Mondays coming, please. The Maritime Mondays will continue coming. Again, we're still playing around with the format. Taking a little break from the long form, and we're doing a little more of these short-term things, news articles, things that are happening because there's always accidents happening. There's always maritime matters. I mean, right now in California, we're seeing a huge dock worker strike, which is really, really affecting logistics in that area. And it could lead to worldwide implications. Back to the level even during the pandemic when the supply chain was destroyed. This thing that's going on now, could have the same effect if it continues much longer. Smopo Vienna says, Vice, it's crazy with the migrants. A few years ago, they found an ice truck on the highway here in Austria. All the people in the back died, had no oxygen. Oh yeah, that's the thing that happened. Put them in shipping containers and things, and just the evilness and the greed of the traffickers that do these things and abuse the people and put them in these situations is one thing. But also how bad must it be for those people to risk their lives to get from wherever they are to wherever they're trying to go for whatever reason? It's a sad situation all the way around. Well, they don't know, Daily Quickly, they don't know the exact depth where it's just in the area is the deepest part of the Mediterranean, and it can get to the 5,200 meter depth. I don't know, and they haven't said if it sank right at that maximum depth level. But anything close to that is not going to be accessible to anything other than the deep water, the deep sea ROVs, like checked out the Titanic and things. Lots of the world is a shittier shithole than most first world real. Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is. And I don't want to get political because we don't do that here. But if you happen to live in a country where you can bitch and moan about the things that most people bitch and moan about, you have no idea how lucky you are to have the right to bitch and moan about those things. It's something that a lot of people take for granted, and probably everybody at some point takes for granted. And then you see the people that are fleeing whatever it is they're fleeing to try to just get a little taste of what you have. Anyway, like I said, I'm not gonna get political, but yeah. Oh, Fedorovsky, you're being a negative Nelly. Desperation, my ass. Most of them have iPhones. Just because you have an iPhone doesn't mean it's not a desperate situation. It doesn't mean you're not being subjected to some of the problems that exist in these countries. I mean, having an iPhone doesn't mean that you're not being targeted by a government for your religious beliefs, your personal beliefs, your preferences, your lifestyle choices. It doesn't mean you're not an ethnic minority that's being cleansed just because you're a minority. That has nothing to do with owning a fucking iPhone. So people ain't fleeting. All right, Fedorovsky, you're just kind of you're see, you're kind of stepping over the line today, but whatever. Oh, I agree with come legally. I absolutely agree. But there are asylum laws where you come illegally and claim asylum and they decide whether you're worthy or not and they send you back. I'm against illegal immigration, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the situation that's causing the people to want to go from one place to the other, not whether that's legal or not. Oh no, we don't have different opinions. As someone whose ex-wife had to go through the ridiculous process of getting a green card from the U.S., when at one point we did say this is probably going to be easier if we just go to a foreign country and sneak across the border and claim asylum, or you just do. No, I mean, absolutely, immigration should be legal, and there are legitimate ways of claiming asylum and seeking refugee status, et cetera, et cetera. But we're not talking about that process. We're talking about the situation that gets them there, and the risks that these people are willing to take to get from point A to point B. And as someone who has traveled to and done some business in some really, really bad locations, you see it. And it's like they're saying here, they're not saying let the illegal immigrants in. They're saying we have to avoid situations like this. We need to make ways for legal migration to happen, more legal migration. So there's nobody saying, "Yay, let's let illegals in the country." That has nothing to. This is a totally non-political thing, saying that people live in terrible situations and they will literally risk their lives to flee it. And I don't know if someone was coming to ethnically cleanse me and I couldn't find a legitimate way to do something, I'm going to try to find an illegitimate way to save my life. But we don't have a difference of opinion there. We're just talking about the fact that shit exists. Yeah, Adam Fedorovsky, he's quite a ways away from Wyoming. Like quite a ways. So yeah, the tragedy and the crisis continues to grow. It's ongoing. It's developing now, and the another one of the recent stories that this sets out the timeline of how this occurred. Now, this speaking of not being political, this is from Al Jazeera. Take that for what it's worth. Greek authorities say they were notified of the boat's presence, but those on board repeatedly refused offers for help. See, now we've got these two stories. The first story said people on the boat were saying that it was the Greek Coast Guard. They tied ropes and they were pulling on the ship and they were pulling too fast and it capsized the boat. The last story we read, the Greek Coast Guard saying, no, they didn't want our help, but we shadowed them and they were one of the first people on scene to help out after the accident happened. So it seems that there was a misunderstanding about how this happened. And again, with this overcrowded of a ship, with this many people on the boat, it doesn't take a lot. You get enough people moving one side or the other, it's going to lose stability and it's going to flip exactly like it did. Greek authorities have been accused of failing to rescue hundreds of refugees and migrants on board a vessel that sunk near the coastal town of Pylos, causing one of the biggest tragedies in the Mediterranean Sea. Reports suggest as many as 750 people were packed onto the fishing boat that capsized early Wednesday in deep waters, about 80 kilometers off the southern Peloponnese Peninsula. At least 78 bodies have been recovered and 104 people rescued. Hundreds are still missing. The Greek Coast Guard was alerted to the presence of the vessel about 10 a.m. on Tuesday. It capsized later that evening. Exactly what happened in the intervening hours remains unclear. Alarm Phone, a self-organized hotline for refugees in distress in the Mediterranean, says the boat had reported being in trouble, but Greek authorities say it repeatedly refused offers for help. Here is a timeline of the events that occurred on Tuesday, according to statements issued by Alarm Phone and Greek authorities. 9:53 a.m. Activist Nawal Sufi, based in Italy, alerts Alarm Phone of a large boat in distress carrying 750 people. So at 9 o'clock in the morning, there was a boat in distress, is what he said. Carrying 750 people. Over the following hour, Sufi sends additional information, including the GPS position of the vessel. She says authorities in Italy, Greece, and Malta were alerted. 3 hours later, at 12:47 p.m., a surveillance aircraft from the European Border and Coast Guard Agency Frontex spots the overcrowded trawler and notifies Greek authorities. The Greek Coast Guard confirms it was notified by the boat's presence late on Tuesday morning. And then, fast forward to an hour and a half later, Alarm Phone receives the first call from the boat. Its passengers say they are in distress and cannot survive the night. The call drops before the GPS coordinates can be confirmed. Well, if they've already done the flyover, I'm not quite sure why they need the GPS coordinates. They can just fly back there again, along the path it was sailing. Greek authorities say in their statement that they established contact with someone on the trawler around 2 p.m. The vessel did not request any assistance from the Coast Guard or from Greece, they said. So you've got passengers calling, saying, help, we're not going to make it throughout the night. And apparently you have people related to the vessel saying, we're good. We're just going to head over to Italy. 3:35 p.m. A Greek Coast Guard helicopter located the trawler. An aerial photo released shows it packed with people covering almost every inch of the deck. Some had their hands outstretched. 4:13 p.m. A number of failed attempts at communicating with the boat. Alarm Phone received the coordinates. 4:53 p.m. The organization alerts the Greek authorities via email, as well as others, including the EU Border Agency, Frontex, and the UN Refugee Agency in Greece. 20 minutes later, 5:10 p.m., the Greek authorities ask a Maltese-flagged tanker called the Lucky Sailor to bring the trawler food and water. According to the company that manages the Lucky Sailor, people on the boat were very hesitant to receive any assistance and shouted that they want to go to Italy. Eastern Mediterranean Maritime Limited said in a statement that the trawler was later persuaded to accept supplies. 5:20 p.m., the passengers call Alarm Phone saying the boat is not moving and the captain fled on a smaller boat. That would kind of be a bit unnerving. The captain of the boat leaves, if it's true. And they need more food and water. 6:30 p.m., the Greek Coast Guard says it observed the boat by helicopter and it was sailing on a steady course. Greek officials say they were faced with a dilemma on what to do with a vessel that had repeatedly declined offers of assistance, as they worried that even the slightest shift could unbalance the boat. 6:55 p.m. Sufi writes that migrants on board tell her 6 people died and another 2 were very sick. No other account has mentioned deaths prior to the shipwreck. 8:05 p.m. Alarm Phone is informed by the passengers that they received water from the merchant vessel Lucky Sailor, and they've been in contact with the police. Alarm Phone also notices that a second merchant vessel, the Faithful Warrior, is close to the boat. 9 p.m. Greek authorities say they asked a second Greek-flagged merchant vessel to deliver water and allowed the Lucky Sailor to leave. 10:40 p.m. A Coast Guard boat from Crete reaches the trawler and remains nearby until it sank. According to the Coast Guard, the vessel discreetly observed the trawler from a distance. Once again, the Coast Guard said the trawler did not appear to have any problems and was moving at a steady course and speed. 11 p.m. Shortly after 11 p.m., Sufi writes that the trawler began rocking as its passengers tried to catch water bottles from another vessel. According to people on board, ropes were tied to the ship, destabilizing it and causing a state of panic. Yeah, when you have something that's that unstable and people rushing over to the side to catch water bottles from another ship, or when you have another ship that's even just the rocking motion of the vessels tugging on it and pulling it, you're gonna create a very, very unstable situation, which is apparently what happened. 12:46 a.m. Wednesday, alarm phone reports its last contact with a boat in distress. All it hears is, "Hello, my friend. The ship you send is..." The call cuts off. The Greek Coast Guard says merchant ships delivered supplies and observed the vessel until the morning when the satellite phone user reports a problem with the engine. About 40 minutes later, according to the Coast Guard statement, the vessel began to rock violently and sank. The Greek Coast Guard says the boat's engine stopped working shortly before 1 a.m. on Wednesday, and the vessel later capsized, sinking in about 10 to 15 minutes. And here's a little bit of the rescue. Okay, that's it's the Ocean Viking on the rescue ship. That video continues for a bit. Who says what? Yes. Conflicting stories, believe it or not. Coast Guard experts believe the boat may have run out of fuel or experienced engine trouble, and the movement of passengers caused it to list and capsize. They suggest the boat might have capsized earlier had they attempted to intervene, but Greece's leftist prime minister, Alexis Tsipras, says the passengers had called for help. What sort of protocol does not call for the rescue of an overloaded boat about to sink, he asked. Sufi said the reconstruction posted on Facebook that the Greek Coast Guard had been towing the ship before it capsized. So now we're going back to this assertion that the Greek Coast Guard was towing the ship before it capsized. According to the messages between Sufi and the passengers, the Greek Coast Guard tied a rope to the fishing vessel. The activist said later in a voice memo that they never expressed the will to continue sailing to Italy or refused assistance from Greece. They were in danger and needed help. Greek parliamentarian Kriton Arsenis, who spoke to some survivors in Kalamata, confirms the account and accuses the Coast Guard of trying to move the boat into Italian waters. Greek authorities did not mention any attempt to tow the boat in their statements following the shipwreck. So is this a case of we don't want you, so we're going to tow you somewhere else? That not an unheard of thing. It's like, oh, you're approaching our water. Well, let us just help you. You want to go to Italy? Let us just help you get over to Italy. Let's keep you out of Greece. Is that a case? But again, the Coast Guard never mentioned it. But other people on the ship, the places that were receiving reports mentioned it. So was the Greek Coast Guard vessel tied to this ship, and did that cause the capsizing? Again, assuming that there's an investigation conducted, which I'm sure there will be. We'll have to see how that turns out. Greek authorities did not mention any attempt to tow the boat in their statements following the shipwreck. The reports from the Lucky Sailor said no lines were tied to the trawler, and supplies were delivered in watertight barrels tied to a rope. So the Lucky Sailor saying, hey, it wasn't our ropes. We didn't do it. Commander Nikos Alexou told Greek channel Ant1 TV that the Coast Guard wanted to check on the trawler's condition, but people on board refused to help and untied the rope before continuing course. And then what's this? What North Korean defectors are telling the world on YouTube? Okay, so those are the stories from near the time of the accident, from within a day or an hour or so of the accident. So that's the fairly old news, I guess, as far as breaking news coverage goes. but there have been updates. Again, it's not good news. It keeps getting worse. Hey Joe says, anyone who lives within the Great Lakes had better know how to swim. Being a Michigander, I beat the shit out of an Ohio fan and take over the boat, put it in the bay, and party on. Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to swim in the Great Lakes. That's pretty dang cold water, and it's like at least not like out in an incident. But anyway, hundreds of Pakistanis dead in Mediterranean migrant boat disaster.
Europe's Commissioner for Home Affairs says the migrant boat disaster off the Greek coast is the worst tragedy ever in the Mediterranean Sea. Ylva Johansson said European nations must find ways to fight smugglers who are sending people to their deaths. Her comments come as the search continues for the missing. 78 people are confirmed dead, but up to 750 people were on the vessel when it sank on Wednesday, and hundreds are feared dead. Greek authorities are denying claims that the ship capsized after the Coast Guard tried to tow it to shore, and as survivors grapple with the disaster. 71 of them were taken to a registration and identification facility near Athens on Friday. Joining us now is award-winning journalist Sally Hayden. She's also the author of My Fourth Time We Drowned, Seeking Refuge on the World's Deadliest Migration Route. Sally, welcome. You have spent the last 5 years reporting on the impact of European Union migration policy. What did your investigation reveal?
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me. Yeah, this has been what I've been reporting on. And actually, to be honest, I had to double check the figures again and again today just to, make sure that I was appreciating the horrific scale of the deaths that are happening. More than 27,000 people have died in the Mediterranean Sea since 2014. And I think that the European position on this is often framed as inaction. People think it's just that they're not sending out boats to rescue people, but actually there is action happening to try and harden those borders, and that's creating a situation where people are much more unsafe. I know that you just quoted the EU talking about the importance of fighting people smugglers, but actually, we're living in a situation where a large proportion of the world's population don't have the ability to travel safely and legally, and so they must resort to using smugglers. The smuggling industry is always going to exist as long as people don't have safe and legal routes. At the moment, they can't get visas, they can't get on planes, they don't have other ways to make these journeys.
Now, this is one of the world's deadliest migration routes for all the reasons that you just outlined. And yet people remain determined to try and reach Europe through these dangerous routes across the sea. Why?
Because they're desperate. I mean, they're fleeing wars, dictatorships, situations, of extreme poverty. And I think we talk about economic migrants, but fleeing poverty can also be, the fact that you don't have access to healthcare, that you can't feed your family, that there's an active risk to your life in that situation. And yeah, I think it really shows the desperation of people that, I talk to a lot of people who make these journeys and they say they know the risks. There might be this misconception that they don't know the risks, but they do, but they just have no other option. They feel like they're in a situation otherwise that they can't survive in. And yeah, my reporting has taken me across Africa and across the Middle East as well. And yeah, it's really, devastating to hear the stories and to hear the lengths that people are being pushed to.
Now, there's a lot of focus right now on the Greek Coast Guard, what they did and didn't do. What is the track record of Greek authorities when it comes to handling of the crisis in the Mediterranean?
Yeah, the Greek Coast Guard is becoming quite infamous for their brutality, for using violence against people, for even, disabling engines, leaving people at sea. And so we don't know exactly what happened with this boat yet. I know that there are conflicting reports, but one of the reports said that potentially the people on board, when they found out it was Greek authorities, had said no, they wanted to continue to Italy. They had refused help. And I mean, I can see why that might have happened, because of the reputation of the Greek authorities, that actually people would think it was more dangerous to agree to, be technically helped by them. That actually the results might be more dangerous than the situation they were in even.
Now, Sally, as the weather gets warmer, do we expect more boats to keep coming? And what ultimately determines who deserves to be in Europe?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big question. Yeah, I think boats are going to continue to come all the time. And who deserves to be there? A lot of the people that I speak to, once they can get on European territory, they can claim a right to stay there. They can claim international protection, but the problem is that they can't claim that from abroad. They have to get onto European territory. Then they'll be recognized as refugees. And yeah, I mean, that's a kind of maybe a broader debate, but at the moment, without those safe and legal routes, this is the only recourse that people have to do that.
Sally Hayden, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Well, that was one of the stories, and I didn't mean to actually close that video. I just wanted to now to bring that story back up again. Hold tight here. Where are we? Sorry about that. I closed out the story. That was the news story too. Dadgummit. Great. Don't have time to go digging through the browser history, but the gist of that was that the death toll has increased to over 300 people at this point. And of course, a huge number of the bodies are never going to be found because reportedly they were locked in the vessel's hold and things like that. So, we'll see how many bodies can actually be recovered and how many are just going to go floating around until they are not floating anymore. There's fish out there that, bad things happen to dead bodies on the ocean. Here we go. Here is the story from earlier today. Let me pop this back up. Yeah, more than 300 Pakistani nationals have been killed in the sinking of an overcrowded fishing trawler off the coast of Greece, the latest tragedy to expose the refugee crisis confronting the European Union as tens of thousands seek sanctuary from war, persecution, and poverty. The chairman of Pakistan's Senate disclosed the numbers in a statement Sunday, sending condolences to grieving families of the dead. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we pray that the departed souls find eternal peace. This devastating incident underscores the urgent need to address and condemn the abhorrent act of illegal human trafficking. Greek authorities have yet to confirm Pakistan's death toll. Pakistan is in the midst of the worst economic crisis in decades, with efforts to secure a financial lifeline. And the International Monetary Fund, it's soared. I'm just scrolling down here through the article here a bit more, and then I want to bring up one final story here. Let's see, trying to find something in the story that hasn't been repeated. Okay, I assure the nation that those found negligent towards their duty will be held to account. Responsibility will be fixed after the inquiry, and heads will roll. Sharif wrote. He's the prime minister. So let's bring this up and read this together. The last part of this article is kind of interesting, I think. Where are we here? Is this us? Yes, this is us here too. They're not sending them to Europe. They're sending them to death. This is what they're doing, and it's absolutely necessary to prevent it. So Greek raised questions. Greek authorities have faced criticism on how the disaster was handled, and uncomfortable questions have been raised about European countries' attitudes towards migrants. Despite the dangers, tens of thousands of people are willing to risk everything to make the unsafe journey to Europe, searching for a better life. At the same time, many European countries have toughened their borders and their stance toward migrants. Last week, Greek authorities denied claims that the boat had capsized after the Coast Guard attempted to tow it to shore. Authorities had initially said that the Coast Guard kept its distance, but their assistance had been declined after they threw a rope to the vessel to stabilize and check if it needed help. But Tarek Al-Drubi, a man who had 3 relatives on board, told CNN that they had seen Greek authorities towing the vessel with ropes, but says they were tied in the wrong places, which caused it to capsize. Well, if they're tied in the wrong places, the Coast Guard wouldn't have tied them there. That would have been someone on the boat. Their boat was in a good condition, and the Greek Navy tried towing them to the beach, but the ropes were tied in the wrong places. When the Greek Navy tried pulling them, it caused the boat to capsize. Speaking to Greek national broadcaster ERT, government spokesman Ilias Sikandaris said the Coast Guard arrived 2 hours before the boat capsized after its engine broke down, and there had been no connection between the two. The Hellenic Coast Guard also defended its response. When the boat capsized, we were not even next to the boat. How could we be towing it? So there's a lot of questions to ask. There's still a lot of questions that need to be answered in this case. And again, this is only a few days old. It's ongoing, this tragedy at sea. And again, regardless of what your thoughts about legal or illegal immigration are, regardless of what your thoughts about, I mean, this is the fact is there's close to 700 people dead from this accident, and the loss of life itself is the issue here. And what caused the loss of life? The illegal activities, the greed, the desperation. That's the thing that leads to disasters like this. So yeah, we're not discussing the legality of immigration. We're not. Well, see Fedorovsky, stop blaming the Greeks. They have no responsibility over any of this. Well, we don't know if they did tie off the ship, and if they did drag it, and if they did tow it improperly, they probably do. Nobody is really aware of what happened yet. And it's going to take time for this to be resolved. The death toll is going to continue. We don't know. We don't know who's responsible. We don't know who's not responsible. And Fedorovsky and others, you're getting bogged down in the politics of it. We're not talking about the politics of it. That's completely aside from we're talking about the maritime aspect of it. We're talking about an overloaded ship that was sailing under the control, I guess, of human traffickers that don't really give a shit about their cargo. They don't give a shit about the people on board. They're reportedly locking women and children in the holds. The captain reportedly, sailed off somewhere else. Whether that's true or just a statement, we don't know. We're talking about the maritime aspect of it. We'll leave the political side of it, the immigration side of it, to others. It's a tragedy that there's this amount of loss of life. For whatever reason, they leave their country. For whatever reason, they want to go someplace better. You don't do this if you're happy with your life where you are. But they risk their lives to do this, and they're putting their lives in the hands of unscrupulous people, and that leads to these tragedies. So not sure what can be done to everybody, or even the people that they talked to, they were like, there needs to be greater access to legal pathways to immigration. There needs to be other things, but they're all saying we need to shut down this trafficking. We have to shut down the human trafficking, the illegal. How do you do that though? Nations across the world have been trying to do that forever. Vessel interdictions at the origin point, maybe, but the ship leaves from Libya. You got to find someone in Libya that cares that, outcasts from their society, or people are trying to flee their country. You got to find people that care enough to go, no, don't go away. come back here. You know, wherever migrants are leaving from, does the government care enough to bring them back, to go out and stop the vessels from these overloaded vessels from going? Or are they just like, bon voyage, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, and they don't care? Where's the responsibility? Who is ultimately responsible for this? I'm not in a legal standpoint, just from a philosophical standpoint. And they say they've arrested 9 people for human trafficking in relation to this. It'll be interesting to see who they are and how it turns out. But that's the tragedy of this situation. Is just the sheer loss of life arising from illegal and greedy behavior of people that are just out there for bucks, and they're just muling people around. They don't care about the human life. But how prevalent is all of this really? Well, 2 days ago, there's a new alert about another vessel 2 days after the disaster. From Athens, Italy on Friday alerted Greece to another vessel holding dozens of migrants sailing off the southern coastal town of Pylos, 2 sources said. Just 2 days after an overcrowded fishing boat sank, killing at least 78 people. Of course, we know that number's up over 300 now. It is sailing about 100 miles west of Pylos. It was located by an Italian aircraft, a Greek government official told Reuters, adding that the alert was received about 1500 Greenwich Mean Time. That's 3 p.m. UK time. The vessel appeared to be sailing towards Italy, a second official said, adding that it was located in Greece's search and rescue jurisdiction, but was very close to Italy's jurisdiction. The official said an estimated 40 to 50 people were on board. Greece had deployed 2 vessels and a helicopter in the area. At least 78 people died. We know that story, but it's a lot more than that now. Greek authorities were alerted by Italy about that boat too. Greece rescued 104 people, but hundreds are missing. Some witnesses say up to 750 people are on board when it sank. So just 2 days after this, another boat has been spotted. Now would be just about the time it's getting to Italy, probably. So that's our happy news for the day, that 120 people on board the Philippine vessel, the Esperanza Star, they survived a fire on board. The unhappy news of the day is that around somewhere roughly around 600 people are likely to have died as a result of human trafficking gone horribly wrong. Don't really know how to segue out of that, but that's where we are. So again, I got no easy way out of those stories. Some tough stories. So what we'll do is we will just declare this an end to Maritime Monday, and I can hang out here and we can just chat and chill for a bit and talk to chat. So the end of Maritime Monday. So all right, well, what do we all want to talk about? The phone lines are open. It's Open Topic Monday. I guess before that, it's time for another cocktail. What are we going to do here? Drink the ice runoff. Add some remaining ice. I'm going to make a cocktail. I'm going to make a new cocktail right now, right here on the fly, because I just happen to have ingredients in front of me. All right, here's our new cocktail. Take a cocktail glass with ice. Add in some Dr. Pepper. Nice caramelly Dr. Pepper. And then you're going to want to add, I don't know if you're going to want to. Let's find out if this is what you want to. You want to add some Old Smoky Tennessee salty caramel whiskey, flavored whiskey. Add enough that you know it's in there. And as this is Lincoln Kane's drink of choice, we will call it the Lincoln Kane. This is the Lincoln Kane cocktail. For those of you that know who Lincoln Kane is, he sent a bunch of people over here today. We'll just call it, we call the Jack Coke. That's the Lemmy after Lemmy Kilmister. we'll just call this the Lincoln Cane Dr. Pepper and Old Smoky Tennessee salty caramel flavored whiskey. That's actually not bad, because I like this because Dr. Pepper has a naturally caramelly flavor. It has a nice caramel flavor to begin with. But you add that caramel whiskey and it just adds like another layer of it. It's sweet as hell, though. It's really, really sweet. But it actually tastes like super caramel Dr. Pepper with a little hint of salt and a little boozy finish. I kind of like that. I'm christening this cocktail the Lincoln Cane. Cheers. Ooh. All right. Gosh, this Old Smoky is just not good. It's not good by itself. I don't know how Lincoln just drinks this all by his lonesome. The peanut butter, that just sucks ass. This salty caramel isn't that bad, but it's just too sweet for me. Do Koreans have their own special UFO sightings? Every now and then there'll be a UFO sighting here. I'm trying to think. The last one was probably 5-10 years ago. But yeah, I mean, they've had some cool stuff. Things that have been reported in the national news, videos that have been shown. Would anybody be interested in a stream on Korean snacks? Well, that'd be fun. That might be fun for a Friday stream, something like that. If anybody's interested in Korean snacks. Do you like White Russians? I don't. We're talking about the cocktail, I presume. I don't like White Russians that well. Black Russians, I prefer Black Russians over White Russians as far as cocktails go. Looks like it needs something by my expression. No, it was actually good. It was just if it needed something, I would probably say maybe a little bit of lime juice or something. Somebody's lurking. We got Lincoln Cane dropping the heat with a 100 Australian dollars. Cheers to the Lincoln Cane cocktail. Heyo. Oi. Cheers, mate. I'm trying to decide if it needs lime or not. Let me just add these. Have a little bit of. All right, we'll just add these lime wedges from the Lime Ricky and let it sit there for a minute and see how that tastes. But yeah, I'm going to christen the. I hope Lincoln likes Dr. Pepper, but I'm christening the Dr. Pepper and Old Smoky Tennessee salty caramel whiskey, the Lincoln Cane cocktail. If Lemmy Kilmeister can have Jack Coke named after you, if he can name Jack Coke after Lemmy Kilmeister and call it the Lemmy, then Dr. Pepper and Old Smoky Tennessee can be the Lincoln Cane. I think it needs lime. It needs something citrusy because it's just too sweet. It needs something to balance out the citrus. Balance out the sweetness. So a little bit of citrus or something. I added 2 slices of lime, but they've been sitting in the Lime Ricky for a bit, so who knows? I'll let it sit there for a minute and kind of let it steep for a bit. Then we'll give it a crack. Do you have photos of Yoda and Strawberry when they were puppies? Not on my computer, but if you go to my they have an Instagram. My dogs I haven't uploaded anything in like a year because there's just only so many pictures of these dumb idiots you can take. But if you go to down below in the, is there a link to my Instagram? I don't even know what the hell is on my links. Let me see here. No, I don't even. Yeah, I do. I haven't in the description of this video. Down at the very bottom, after the actual description of this video, there'll be my links. At the bottom of my links is my Instagram account. And linked to that Instagram account should be my dog's account. Let me check and see. But yeah, I've got all pictures from when they were little puppies there. Let's see. Yes, if you go to the bottom here on the description, click my Instagram, and then you look at my profile, my dogs are down there. It's Dargi and Yoda. So yeah, it's there. You can find it if with a little bit of searching. Just go to my Instagram account, Whiskey Guy Korea, no E, just WHISKY Guy Korea. In my profile, there's a link to my dog's Instagram, and you can see their puppy pictures there. You make me want a short day trip to Pigeon Forge. You used to be able to drink for free going to all the moonshine distilleries. Yeah, just like walk down the street and do tasting. If he wants to join for a couple minutes, he's welcome. But last I heard, he was going to bed, and he was just kind of he was listening. If you're up, let me know. And I mean, at most, I'm going to be streaming for 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna head to sleep, possibly less. But if you want to watch Lincoln on the stream, come and go back and check the Fuck It Friday. I'm sorry, the F It Friday stream we did last Friday. But he's one of the people that has an open invitation. If nothing's going on, he's welcome to jump in if he just lets me know. Otherwise, he's sleeping peacefully, last I heard. But he's also lurking because he thanked us for the Lincoln Cane cocktail. Did I catch up on sleep? No. But my body is so used to getting 4 or 5 hours sleep a night that I can't sleep more than that. I want to. Sometimes I do, but mostly it's like 4.5, 5 hours of sleep a night. Yes, Lemmy was killed by death. Lincoln Kane says, "Lols, I'm in bed watching." You're welcome anytime. Rest in peace, Lemmy. Dang it. That was one of my bucket list items was to meet Lemmy. But it probably came close to happening once. And if you don't know who Lemmy Kilmister is, he's the lead vocalist and bass player. If you don't know who Lemmy Kilmister is, just, get better. For Motorhead. Everybody should know. Everybody should know who Lemmy Kilmister is. But see, the problem is, well, I mean, it's a problem for me. He lived very, very close to his favorite bar in Hollywood, the Rainbow. He was the Rainbow Club. And it's the Rainbow Bar and Grills right on Sunset Strip. Next to the Whiskey a Go-Go, and I desperately I had planned to go there. I had the tickets bought and everything. My life goal for that vacation was I was going to sit at the Rainbow Bar until Lemmy came in. That was it. That's what I had planned. And well, it didn't quite work out that way because he died. Because I was planning on going there for New Year's on New Year's 2015, and he died like a couple of days before I got there. So, fuck, didn't get to do it. Did you ever see Lemmy on The Young Ones? Oh my gosh, I did not know he was on The Young Ones. That's funny. He would fit right in. I got it. I haven't seen The Young Ones since they were like on MTV a billion years ago. Lemmy. Yes, Lemmy is now God. He was a god, now he is God. I'm just picturing Discworld Death having a conversation with Lemmy. See, that would have been fun. It would have been nice just to say hi. I did get to check off, like 2 weeks before the world went to hell, I got to check off my bucket list of seeing Queen play at stage side seats when they came to Korea July 19th and 20th of 2020. It was the last thing that happened before the world went to hell. And so I got to stand stage side and just watch Brian May play guitar for 2 hours. I could have died a happy man right there on the spot. Got to check off that bucket list item to see Brian May play live. So here we go. So we've bored all of you with our music talk. So it's open topic. It's open line. It's open line Monday for, if we can keep it going 30 minutes, we will. We have Magician Sapphire, a super chat from like 10 minutes ago. Got to scroll up to get to it. There we are. Magician Sapphire, for the next Maritime Monday, can you live stream The Legend of Zelda, the Windwalker? No. Wow. Dang it. Well, I mean, mainly because I just have a PlayStation 4. So, but dang it. I do miss the Zelda games. The Wind Waker. Did I say Wind Walker? I said Windwalker, didn't I? The Wind Waker. Great little link out there on the boat. Yeah. Jeff, you've been working out, man. I see you're losing weight. Not as much as you'd think. I'm like genetically weird. The very first place I lose weight is my face. So my face is the first. So it looks great. I'm just still a lump, but we'll get there. Have to get down to the pre-COVID weight. I got a lot to get. Rammstein. Oh, Rammstein would be fun. Rammstein would be a great concert to see. I'm getting ready to go because I'll be going to Houston to Anime Matsuri convention from the 10th to the 13th of August, and then I'll be going back home to Utah from August 14th through the 22nd. And I was checking concerts because I want to go to concerts while I'm there. That's if I can go to a concert every day, I'll be happy. But I am kind of excited because while I'm there, Foreigner is going to be in concert, so that'll be cool. Get to see all Foreigner, because Foreigner was amongst the first 2 albums I ever bought with my own money. The six albums for 1 penny you got from the RCA Record and Tape Club. Foreigner was 2 of them. It was Foreigner Double Vision and Foreigner Head Games. Let's see if I can remember the 6 albums. Rush 2112, definitely. Rush 2112. Foreigner Head Games, Foreigner Double Vision, AC/DC, Back in Black, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, and Queen Live Killers. Cool. I can still remember it. And I was like, what, 9 or 10 at the time? So cool. Those were my first 6 records I ever bought with the 1 penny from the RCA record. From the RCA record. Columbia was like 12, but you had to buy a bajillion over the next 3 years. Yeah, Captain Have Fun. I've done competitive bodybuilding. I see that from your profile. I can make you a workout plan that only makes you lift 1 to 2 hours weekly and gain muscle mass, lose body fat. See, that's the problem. I have a lot of muscle mass. It's just coated in a lot of fat. The in-body checks and things like that. I'm always way over the normal muscle mass. Just I'm big boned. But yeah, I've got my personal trainer doing it, but we're good, and thank you. I will keep that in mind if I ever decide to part ways with the trainer. It's just nostalgia. Foreigner. Wrestler muscles covered in buttery layer of insulation. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. All Jeff lifts is a drink to his mouth. Nah, we also lift a lot of fried chicken and butter. I mean, not together. That would be weird. Like buttered fried chicken actually sounds pretty damn good. But yeah, that would just be excessive. But alcohol does have a lot of calories in it. Bless those people with high metabolisms. They can drink the really, I mean, I don't like the really sweet stuff anyway, but if you can drink the really sweet stuff and not gain weight, bless you for that. I envy you. Oh yeah, the lime. I was just drinking. I wasn't paying attention to the taste. Lime. I would say 2 ounces. Okay, I have to make an official recipe. I would say 2 ounces of Old Smoky Tennessee salty caramel whiskey, 2 ounces of that. Top it off with Dr. Pepper and squeeze in the juice of half a lime and drop in a lime wedge for garnish. Can you deep fry whiskey? Ooh, that would be good. Hey, Nicholas, what's up? Thank you for the dump. Nicholas and Lincoln Kane dumped their viewers on me, so thank you very much. I wish you could if you could deep fry whiskey, I'd be all over it. What if you can you wouldn't really deep fry things in whiskey. You could like parboil stuff in whiskey. That'd be good. Or like a whiskey sous vide. Well, with sous vide doesn't really, you don't get the infusion. Huh. Wow. Plus it would boil all the alcohol off. Then it'd be no fun. Nah, soda water. Nah, that just waters it down. Sounds gross. It's actually really good. I was just taking a risk, and I just had some things within reach. So I thought I would go and try it. And it actually is pretty good. Dr. Pepper, the salted whiskey caramel, because it really enhances the caramel flavor of the Dr. Pepper. It adds a little bit of a salty touch to it. And alcohol. Nicholas Starov, everybody. Nicholas Starov he's a labor lawyer from Sweden who does a lot of trial watch. He joins me for a lot of my trial streams. He does his own trial streams. He guests on other trial streams. He's a great, great man, and he has 31 subs from 2,000K. We've currently got 375 viewers here. People, I'm calling on you. I'm begging you. I'm urging you. Let's get this man to 2,000 subscribers. He's 31 away. 31 of you. Go do the Lord's work. Go over to Nicholas Starov's channel and subscribe to him. Let's get him up over 2,000. Go over there. 31 of you, go over there. Not the other 31 of you. You are part of the 31. Don't wait for 31 other people to do it. Get over there and hit that subscribe button on Nicholas Starov's Trial Watch. That's Mod, throw up some links for Nicholas. There you go. You've got some Nicholas things. Do it now. Do it now.
The power of Christ compels you.
You must do it. So that Nicholas is a good man. And if you don't do it, if you don't go over there,
how dare you?
Subscribe to this man. He's a good guy. Nicholas, let me know when you hit that 2,000. You're going to do it because everyone here is awesome. And I trust them. I trust them to do the right thing. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like lime is always good in the cola type drinks. Maybe lemon. I go through limes just enormously because I love dark and stormies. I love mojitos. Yeah, just anything. I love lime. I have a giant bag of lemons that I haven't touched in ages. Got to start drinking cocktails with lemons in them because I have one lime left and a fuck ton of lemons. Maybe I have one lime left and a fuck ton of lemons. So I'll have to try this tomorrow with a lemon in it and see if that tastes any better. Yes, Wolfram subscribed long ago. We know that, Wolfram. Oh, Beth, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving Nicholas your vote. If you like what I'm doing, Nicholas does it, but he does it with a cool accent. And he looks like a Viking. So, yeah. You guys are super awesome. He's 25 subs, 6 subs from that call out. Oh, come on. That call out just started. Everybody's going to be, we've got more since then. So life has given you lemons. No, Costco sold me lemons. If someone gave me lemons, if life gave me lemons, then I'd probably drink a lot more of them, eat a lot more of them. Put the lime in the cola drink, then you feel better. Put the lime in the Coca-Cola drink, drink them both down. Doctor! Right. All right. We've started to sing again. We can't do that. Yeah, I know, but I want to see how it tastes with lemon, just to see if I can dispose of some lemons. Oh, everybody's just Don. You hadn't subscribed to Nicholas yet. Shame on you. That's why gingers are soulless. You're soulless just because you don't subscribe to other people. Uh-oh. Nick is getting close. He's 17 subs left. Crown and Coke. Yeah, well, hold the Coke. Oh, all right. There you go. See, again, Crown tastes better in Dr. Pepper. If you're gonna do it the Canadian way. Dr. Pepper. At least that's what the Canadians tell me. I have other Canadians tell me that those Canadians are out of their damn minds, but Crown and Dr. Pepper taste really great too. John Gordon, bring the $2 super chat. Go sub or Nicholas will burn down your village. He'll just stop in to say hi, as the Vikings did with the Celts. They just stopped in to say hi. Fondin truck driver extraordinaire says sous vide steak with a peaty whiskey in the bag is awesome. That would work. It would heat the sous vide would heat up the whiskey in the bag and it would infuse the meat. Marinating steaks in a peated whiskey is awesome. When I go camping, I'll usually, oh God, I'm going camping this weekend. I am so excited. I haven't been camping all year yet, and it's driving me crazy. Me and the dog's going to take off and do a little camping. My 1 kilogram tomahawk steak I ordered from the butcher is arriving tomorrow, and I'm probably going to marinate that in some Ardbeg, and then just grill it over the campfire, hang around. So I love camping. Camping is when I disconnect. Just turn everything off, tune in, turn out, all that other stuff. Just drop everything. Me and the dogs, we just sit, read books all day and do nothing but smoke cigars, drink whiskey, smoke pipes, drink more whiskey until you pass out, and then you wake up and do it again the next day. Camping in the forest. The place I go camping, it's this beautiful place about an hour and 15 minutes up the coast. There's a little forest, a 2-lane road, and the ocean. So you're in a forest, but you're across the street from the ocean, and then you just relax at night in the tent. The wind's blowing through the trees. You can hear the waves crashing across the street. Oh, whiskey battered fish and chips. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, the standard is beer batter, but no, whiskey batter. Definitely. Protect Yoda and Strawberry from Korean Bigfoot. Nah, they'd go make friends with Korean Bigfoot. That's all they do. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. My steak is arriving tomorrow. The camping basics, my menu is just basically always the same. You go there in the morning, you set up camp, just throw some ramen in a pot, cook off some ramen with some onions and potatoes in it. That's for lunch. You sit, you chill, you just get liquored up. Then you've got a steak marinating in some Ardbeg and a little bit of herbs and some spices, and a sweet potato or two wrapped up in foil. You cook them right in the ashes and the coals of the fire. Corn on the cob, maybe a little bit of salad if I'm feeling rabbity, and that's it. Some coffee, and whip up some eggs in the morning, and done. Limoncello mojito sounds fire. See, limoncello is it's too sweet for me. Sunday is Midsummer celebration stream. Making an epic 2,000K stream. 2K stream, not 2,000K. Make it a 2,000K stream. Give them 2 million subscribers. Are you gonna watch that horrible movie? That movie Midsummer sucked ass. I was so pissed off by the end of that movie. Ooh, this is the scariest movie ever. Ooh, you'll be horrified forever. People are freaking out in the theaters. The first 15, 20 minutes were pretty good. Then it was just the stupidest movie ever. Can we get more ghost ship stories from Maritime Monday? There's not that many ghost ships out there. So if I tell the ghost ship stories now, I'm not going to have anything to do on Halloween. Halloween last year was when I did the ghost stories. So we'll do ghost ship stories this Halloween. We'll do another ghost ship, extravaganza like we did last time. So many heretics that don't like Dr. Pepper. I pretty much like anything that has caffeine in it. Midsummer was dumber than a Bill Cosby movie. I can't disagree with you. That movie sucked. God, that was a bad movie. How are we doing on subs, Nicholas? What's the update? The movie won't be watched to the stream. Good. Maybe we can just like all burn all existing copies of Midsommar so we can erase it from the human collective. How are we doing on subs, Nicholas? Did we get you to your 2K? Looking sexy today, Vices. Beard trim. I trimmed my beard like, was it last week? Like a week ago? Yeah, trimmed it a week ago. But gotta leave the stash growing. Just didn't didn't wax the stash today. But yeah, trim the beard down now. After my horrible shaving accident of a month or two, like I guess it was a couple of months ago. It took a while to grow it back out to where I can start trimming it. Let it grow longer. It's usually like on a nice V shape kind of thing. But yeah, we're get there. Look at this. Look at this people chatting with each other. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was glorious. I still haven't seen it. I'm probably going to watch that camping, download it, and put it on my tablet. Joe Choi, Chef always looks sexy, growls and Vices. Yeah, I still haven't watched Blood and Honey because I'm waiting. But I think camping up in the woods would be a great place to watch that. How about a Maritime Monday about the tragedy of the SS Minnow? I thought about doing that for April Fools, but I didn't. Instead, we had Maritime Horrors on, and we did the scuttling of the Nostromo from Alien. But yeah, that would be fun to do. But we don't really know a lot about how the SS Minnow accident occurred. We just know they were out on a 3-hour tour. And for some reason on this 3-hour tour, Mrs. Howell brought a fuck ton of clothes, and so did Ginger. Well, they were women, so they need like 18 cases full of their clothes and jewels for a 3-hour tour. I would never give up soda. If my options were giving up soda or carbonizing horse piss with caffeine in it, I'd drink horse piss soda. Right. Still can't growl, says Alexis. Well, I like that movie with the boat. I like that movie with the boat, the Orca in it. The boat was named the Orca. There was a movie called Orca about killer whales attacking boats. Now, life is imitating art. Do we count the movie where they were rescued? Kale Hyun too. You are old, my friend. If you remember the movie, the TV movie where the folks from Gilligan's Island were rescued, you're officially old and a Gilligan's Island fan. I remember the whole family sitting around watching the rescue from Gilligan's Island. And then, of course, they all ended up back at the island. So, yeah, I guess we can count that movie. Wow. So, sorry. Spoiler alert from, what was that, like 1970s, late 70s, early 80s? When the hell was the Gilligan's Island movie? Gilligan's Island movie, TV movie. 1978. Huh, okay. Oh, there you go. It came out in 1978. Oh, wait, there was another one? Oh my God, there's this Gilligan's Island movie that I didn't even know existed. Yeah, because the one in 1978, they got rescued. Oh, not that old. You saw on TV Land. Okay, cheat. That's cheating. Yeah, so they got off the island in 1978. Then they went out for like a reunion sailing trip, and there was another typhoon, and then they got shipwrecked back on the same island they were on. But IMDb says there was a TV movie in 1979 called The Castaways on Gilligan's Island. The castaways finally get permanently rescued, and they turn their island home into an exclusive resort. Wow. Let's see who it had in it. It had Bob Denver was Gilligan, Alan Hale, who's the skipper, Jim Backus, Thurston Howell, Natalie Schaefer, Lovey, Okay, had the fake Ginger, Judith Baldwin, Russell Johnson, the professor, Tom Bosley was in it. Dawn Wells. Dawn Wells is Marianne. Marianne was so fucking hot. Even like when Dawn Wells is like, she's like when she was old. I mean, she died a while ago, but hell, even when she was old, she was pretty. Tom Bosley, and we said that. Nobody else. Nobody else did that. Oh, Al Schwartz did it. Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. How about the Harlem Globetrotters episode? Yeah, like Gilligan's Island was literally the show that jumped the shark every single episode. They had all the guest appearances on this uncharted island, and somehow they never got off. She was your sugar mommy, Jet. No, she was just hot. All right. Yeah, they created a resort on the island, I guess. That's funny. I didn't know this 1979 show existed. Huh. Yeah, no spoilers. Remember that button the other day I said that I never wanted to push again? Well, I just pushed it. I don't know if I can show this. Hang on here. God dang it. See, like on my mouse, there's like these two side buttons. I need to go in and disable these buttons. This one goes back a screen. This is like the back button. This is the fast forward button. This goes back to the last. And if there's a screen you've gone back to, this one will take you back. So you click that and it goes back to the previous screen you were on. And it's right there, right where my thumb sits. And I bump that every couple of days. Now, what it did is it doesn't just turn the screen back. It bumped me back to the previous screen I had, which was Twitter. So it bumped me back to my Twitter page and kicked me out of the StreamYard thing. Nicholas has 10 subs left. Come on, guys, reach down into your soul. Reach down into your soul and give Nicholas 10 more subscribers. He needs it. Oh my God. Wait, I forgot. While we're at it, shit. Lincoln Kane bumped us over the Doggo Cam mark. Hang on. We have Doggo Cam. We should have been doing Doggo Cam this whole time. Boom, there we go. Hi. There. My guest host, Strawberry, asleep on the chair on the veranda. Go give Nicholas his last 10 shots. I just looked up and said, oh my gosh, we crossed the threshold. Barely. Just Don, soulless ginger, member for 6 months of the Clean and Sober Crew, says, I remember subbing to Nicholas months ago. You should always assume YouTube fuckery, and using my gingerness, you're about to come to my home turf. Awesome. I love gingers. My whole family, except for me, are gingers. So I'm going to be testing my father's DNA this holiday. This is my last chance I'll get, probably, unfortunately. Find out if I'm related to my father. I'm the only non-ginger. Have we worked out if Lincoln is Aussie yet? We're still working on that. The jury is still out until I see them both on the same stream at the same time. The jury's going to be out on that. All right, we need 10 more subscribers to get Nicholas up over his 2,000K. He deserves it. He's a good man. So yeah, we got the meat lump over here. We got about 5 more minutes. Let's see if we can get him up over the 2,000 before the next 5 minutes elapses. Yeah, what about me? We've got, for some reason, 376 of you are still sticking around. 381, we've just gone up. For the people that have just joined in the last few seconds, we're just screwing around here. We finished Maritime Monday. You can go back and watch that on the replay. We're just screwing around here and doing a little bit of free chat in the few minutes we have left. Lincoln reminds me of if Salty Cracker's dad was from Australia. Well, Lincoln turned me on to Salty Crackers. So I actually had never heard of him until Lincoln mentioned him. So I would concur with that. I'm going to do a 23andMe test on both of us. Maybe the genealogy one, the one that the one that I'm eligible to do for free, I think, because of the family.com one that goes through the Mormon church. I think I'm still officially on the registry, so I think that might get me a discount. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah. Subbing on all my alts, Nicholas. Well, I hope you subscribed to me on all of your alts too. I'm sure you did, because you're awesome. All right. Well, we are coming to the end. We have very clearly run out of topics to discuss. Like so I'll be gone this Saturday and Sunday. So probably sometime the next weekend, we'll do a members only stream. Yeah, I think we'll do a members only stream the week after, like next weekend. Doggy's so cute. Well, for those of you that haven't seen the dogs, this is Strawberry. And Strawberry's older brother, Yoda, is over here sleeping in that basket. That's Strawberry's older brother, Yoda. Strawberry was the and that's Cthulhu right there. Yoda was the second to last in the litter, and Strawberry was the runt of the litter. So I purposely got them because they were the two smallest dogs. Well, I got Strawberry because she was the smallest, and I ended up rescuing her older brother from the breeder because nobody wanted him because he was small. So, hey, Jess survived. Jess survived F it Friday. Good to see you, Jess. Yay, 2,000K. Nicholas, you got to 2,000K, it sounds like. Did you really? Let's hear a confirmation from the guy himself. Nicholas, did you get to 2,000 subscribers? Boom, 2,003 subs we got there. Hey guys, thank you so much for subscribing to Nicholas. Seriously, give him a watch. Don't just subscribe to subscribe. Give him a good watch. Awfully entertaining. Great man. So thank you for doing that. That was very nice of you to do. I'll do that for Nicholas. Now he can drink even more on his celebration, his midsummer celebration stream. Congratulations, Nicholas. Wow, just in time. We got about 1 minute left. So I just want to Law Talk with Mike streaming. I was just gonna check here where we can redirect people to. Who is doing what at this hour? That's the question. So I'm just gonna see who we're gonna. Oh, good morning, Strawberry. Wake up! Oh, you're down for the count. Never mind. You were just readjusting yourself. All right. Live. What live? Why is that live? That's not live. All right. Okay. Try this again. Live. Why? Grumpy. I'm grumpy. I'm just gonna have to redo this. Sorry, everybody. Just bear with me here. Ordinarily, we'd be having a video playing while I was doing this, but. Just hang tight. Going to my studio. Content. All right. Here's today's stream. Go to edit, customization, redirect, add. Let's see. Here. Give me a quick second. So many options today, dang it. I wish you could send to multiple places and give them a choice where they wanted to go. That would be awesome. But alas, I think I asked too much. All right, as Lincoln has it's Cleo Cam, his doggo cam. His dog is sleeping, rocking out to some awesome remixes made by his remix guy. We'll send you to some live streamers. Let's go to Law Talk with Mike. He's doing Holiday Court. We'll redirect everybody to Law Talk with Mike. He just started about 10 minutes ago, so you haven't missed anything. much, I guess. So let him know it's a legal vices raid. Say hi from me. I'll be lurking there for a bit, I guess, while I get ready for bed myself. I'm gonna try to call it an early night. See what happens to my body if I get twice as much sleep. I'm gonna shoot for 8 hours sleep tonight. It's more than my usual 4. Wait, Rebecca, what are we trying? What are we trying again tomorrow? What did I miss? Is this something that I have influence over? I can't get it to work anymore. Oh wait, or what's not working? Something's not working for Rebecca. Court is on holiday. I don't know. Something's not working for Rebecca. Whatever's not working, I hope you get it worked out. Already on Third Irish Whiskey at 4 p.m. says, "What the Shaw? Was the Shaw sauce? Was the Shaw sauce? What Irish whiskey are you having? What's up, Wuzzy sauce? What? Well, you're telling us what Irish whiskey you're having. Let's all go over there. So here's the deal, mods. I just want to thank you for being so moddy. You guys are awesome. Let's see here. Lincoln, if you're still awake, Lincoln Kane, if you are still awake and have not gone to sleep yet, send a note here in chat. Just send something here in chat so that I can mod you appropriately. But mods, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me on Maritime Monday for our little abbreviated news polls we're doing. We'll still be doing the disasters and things and having guests on as time goes by, just kind of cleansing the palate, sort of decompressing a little bit, allowing for some things to develop. And thank you, chat, for being here. The chat is the most awesome chat ever. Thank you to Lincoln Kane for giving us a redirect. And thank you to Nicholas Starov, labor law trial watch guy, who gave us a redirect. And congratulations to Nicholas for getting up over 2,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Oh, you're having YouTube troubles with some links. YouTube is always squirrely. And thank you for the generosity for the super chatters today. Oh, I forgot to fix today's Vice Racks. It was Jessica P with the Canadian 14, and then she was supplanted by Lincoln Kane. Lincoln Kane ends the day as today's Vice Racks with the Australian $100, which is right about 62 US. So that's the end of that. Thank you, everybody, for the generosity. Good to see all of you here. Tomorrow we go back to the YNW Melly trial to see if there is going to be a mistrial. There may be a mistrial because that was where we left off. The prosecution did things that exactly what the judge said not to do. The judge very, very specifically said, do not go down this line of questioning. Do not say this thing. Prosecutor went right down that line of questioning and said that thing. The defense immediately moved for a mistrial. They had some arguments. The court said he would take it under advisement, and the judge will be deciding whether or not to declare a mistrial tomorrow. So join me for the YNW Melly trial starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, which is 10 p.m. Korea time, 11 p.m. Canberra, Australia time, and 2 p.m. UK time. Join us for that while we stream that. Hopefully it won't be the end of the trial, but hopefully it will be. I'm torn up. I want to continue doing the trial, but that was some prosecutorial fuckery. I think they should be given a mistrial if they want it. So we'll just have to see what happens. And all right. Lincoln Kane is now been modded, so we can turn the camera off here. we can rest it. Thank you to everybody. Bless all you all. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be trial stream. Friday will be probably just another chill stream like this where we just kind of hang out and do things. Then I'm going camping for the weekend. I'm gonna fuck off for a couple days and just enjoy dogs, booze, and smokes. And that'll take us up to next Maritime Monday. See you all. Have a great, awesome, amazing night, morning, afternoon, wherever it is you happen to be and whatever time it happens to be. On your way out the door, hit the like button. Double check to make sure you're still subscribed. Let's see real quick. Let's see how we ended the subscriber numbers. What are the subscriber numbers up to? Did we get anywhere near 36,900? No, we're at 36,856. 44 away. And on that note, we'll leave you all. Take care, everybody. Love you all. We will see you here tomorrow. Go Tell Law Talk with Mike from Chicago. As usual, hi from Legal Vices. And I'll see you on over there. Take care. Bye now.